Hi Vidhi, how's the second year going for you?
It's going really good. I mean, it's intense, but at the same time, very interesting, considering you get to do the courses which you're actually very keen for. There's this one question which I had to ask you. I mean, being a chartered accountant, this is one question which we all get asked for in any interview, and that is why MBA after CA? What has been your response to that question?
So my response to why I decided to do an MBA after a CA was just the fact that as a CA, like I mostly had experience in audit and advisory and a little bit of taxation, but not that much. So as an MBA, like I knew, like, you get a chance to have a decision making power in businesses. You get a chance to learn about all facets of a business, whether it is marketing, finance, HR, like organizational behavior. So I just wanted to gain like a full perspective of how businesses work, what makes them tick, and how as professionals we can contribute even further. What has been your reason?
So as for me, I was working in treasury team of an NBFC, and I mean that's something which is a desired role for most of the CAs. But my experience was little different. I mean, that was very much cost-oriented role. I was not directly working in connection with the business. Like all the decisions with respect to how much disbursement has to be brought about, or any core business-oriented decision was being taken by the sales team or the business team, right? And as for me, I felt that when it comes up to any cost-oriented role, the field of impact is limited. While if you talk about the profit-oriented role, where you're taking into consideration both revenue as well as cost aspects, that has a major field of impact, and I had to bridge that gap, and for bridging that gap I needed an MBA. Having completed 1 year in BITSoM, what has been your favorite courses and the favorite professors?
So off the bat, I would say like Professor Shamika Ravi, who taught us microeconomics. She is now in the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council. Like her course in microeconomics, that was like really one of my favorite courses. Like I really learned about, of course, like I knew a little bit of economics before, but the perspective that she brought in, like having really worked closely, tracking all our economic indicators and like studied our economy in depth, the perspectives that she brought us, like it was really enriching. And currently in the second year, like we just completed, both of us, we just completed the fintech course. So Professor N Prabhala, like even his perspective about how finance work, how fintech companies work, I think that was really enlightening, and that really made me feel like wow, this MBA journey has been worth it. What about you? Like what were your favorite courses and or professors?
BITSoM as a learning experience has been amazing. I mean, I don't have like 1-2 professors who I can name. There have been n number of courses and n number of professors who have been really amazing, Especially if I talk about Professor Dan Gode, Professor Jerry George, all the courses which we have undergone. I mean, I really would want to undergo those courses again, even if it's the same content, because each and every class was so good, like the learnings which were offered in each and every class had been amazing. Even when it comes up to Professor Piyush Kumar, who actually taught us marketing last year. I mean, I don't intend to have a specialization in marketing this year. Despite of that, since the professor had such a nice impact last year, I ended up opting for account-based marketing. And I mean, I really don't regret the decision. The class was amazing. BITSoM is like the only college which offers account-based marketing as a course. And it's something which is so much relevant. Like if you talk about current situation, you want to do the right marketing, the target-oriented, result-oriented marketing. And that's something which was taught to us by him.
Yeah.
Also, Professor Shamika ma'am, she has been amazing, definitely. Even a few wow courses were amazing, like about whole brain thinking, critical analytical thinking, business problem solving. All of that has come up very much handy.
Yeah, I think from all the courses that even you mentioned, it's just like, being in the classroom, you're like, oh wow, I'm learning something which was not intuitive, something like I could not have thought about myself, like the perspectives and the insights that you gain, like you leave the classroom really feeling like, wow, right. I really learned something today.
I mean, when you talk about CA as a course, it's very comprehensive. Despite of that, after coming here, I have been exposed to so much new learnings through these courses. So it has been great, great as a journey.
Yeah. So Vidhi, how did BITSoM help you in your internship?
So my internship was in strategy, and I was in a chemical company which dealt only with epoxy. My first instant reaction was, what is epoxy? I had no clue, no idea about what is going on. So my first week towards internship was solely dedicated towards research, and you won't believe it, even after that I did not have a roadmap. Like I was clueless as to what should be done next, because strategy is something which is very open, like you don't know what to do, and within 2 months you're supposed to set some impact. For that you actually need a proper roadmap. And that's when I actually ended up undergoing the courses again. Like I'm talking about Professor Dan Gode's course and Jerry George's course. And after implementing those learning, I was able to find myself the right roadmap. Also, a few of seniors and, they came up to my help. I mean, I was able to interact with them and get more understanding. And yeah, that's something which really helped me. What about you?
I did my internship in the consulting field. So what really helped me was in the first year was just interacting with our peers, because we both are CAs, but there is our batchmates, they are like engineers, students from arts, and like various other domains. So just interacting with them and learning their perspectives and the way they approach problems, and you realize like there are other ways also to solve a problem. So that really helped me switch into a little bit of a consulting mindset. And the second thing that I would say is, in every single course that we had, like across domains, whether it was finance, marketing, strategy, it's just the way the professors approached the problem. Like if I were to give you an example, Professor Soumitra Datta, like he taught us about technology. So like the way he approached how technological disruption was taking place, and so that was like one of the key learnings, and that is what really did help me in my consulting internship.
So right, as you mentioned, you were in consulting. How was it like? What did you like the most about consulting?
What I liked the most was like I had to do a little bit of research in the starting, and like figure out what exactly is the problem. Like I had to figure out what is the problem, like what am I solving for, because if I just dive in and like start like giving ideas or coming up with solutions, it doesn't really make sense. First you have to really identify what is the problem, how are you going to help your client, and how is your understanding of the situation, whether it actually aligns with what the reality is. So that was one key experience that I had, like figuring out what problem has to be solved. The second thing was like just in consulting, like interacting with the other consultants, interacting with say the principals over there, like you really understand like the set of skills that they have and how you can develop yourself to reach their level. So that was like one of the very inspiring or motivating things that I took away from my internship, is like what are the skills that I still can develop, and how much effort that needs to go into develop that, and really become like seasoned consultants.
Right.
And what about you, like how was your experience in GenMan?
Well, it was pretty interesting. I mean, I've always been exposed to finance-oriented roles, and this was like the first time I was doing something non-finance. I was in strategy, but then it was really great. When it comes up to GenMan, it's actually in alignment with what I'm aiming for, because when it comes up to the LEAP program, we get exposed off to various segments. It's not just you and strategy, it would be me being placed in operations or marketing. So you get this wholesome learning and experience, it's like preparing you to be like a future manager. So the experience was really good. Also, I got to interact with a lot of senior people, in this company, and the learning which you get from that has been really great.
So Vidhi, like what was your experience about finance like before doing MBA, and how do you think like after 1 year of MBA your understanding or your perspective about the financial field has changed?
So this is something which I actually ended up discussing with my manager too in summer internship, that post MBA my thinking horizons have actually widened up. Initially it was too much task oriented, like something has been given to me, I'm just going to do it. Now it was more about me being skeptical and questioning everything, and that's something which actually ended up helping me a lot with respect to my research. Like when it comes up to strategy, one of the tasks was doing competition benchmarking. So I wasn't just restricting to financial statements. I ended up going through the investor call transcripts, and even in those transcripts I ended up digging up a lot. Like trying to make sense as to what is the what are the key management personnel trying to hide, and what are the analysts trying to dig out. So that ended up getting me some amazing insights. So that questioning mindset is something which has been developed by me post MBA. And I definitely would want to get exposed to finance oriented roles even in GenMen, because but then it's mainly about the thinking hat which has been added up. What about you?
I think I agree with you completely. Like I think my perspective about finance has really deepened, after doing finance courses. Like I really realized that there's so much about finance that I still don't know, and I want to learn even more. Like before starting the MBA, like after I had got my BITSoM call, I was wondering what should I do? Should I do marketing? Should I do GenMan? But like I was really not that keen on finance, because I was like, we've done finance for so long, like why do you want to continue? But like after doing all the finance courses and even doing other courses, like you realize like there's so much more that there is to learn in the finance field. So I hope like in the future I can continue in the finance field. So what about you? Where do you see like your future post MBA?
So as I said, GenMen is something which is definitely in alignment with the goals. So I would want to get myself here, see myself here. And when it comes up to ABG as a group, it's huge, and there's obviously a lot of opportunities.
So Vidhi, it was great catching up with you, and I'll see you back in class.
Same here. I mean, it was so nice interacting again.